Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai, Vishveshvari Mati Ki Jai. We'll go on with chapter 4 of book 11, the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. Narad said, O sinless one, the greatest of the Reduksha that you have described is verily such. Now I ask, why is this Reduksha so entitled to worship by the people? Please speak clearly on this point. Narayana said, O child, this is the very question that was asked once by Kartikeya, the six-faced one, to Bhagavan Shiva dwelling in Kailash. What he replied, I will tell you now. Shiva said, O child, I will dwell briefly on the secret cause of the greatness of the Reduksha seed. Here, in days of yore, there was a demon called Tripura who could not be conquered by anybody. Brahma, Vishnu, and the other devas were defeated by him. They then came to me and requested me to kill the asura. At their request, I called in my mind the divine great weapon named Agora, beautiful and and terrible, and containing the strength of all the devas, to kill him. It was inconceivable, and it was blazing with fire. For full divine 1,000 years, I remained awake with eyelids wide open in thinking of the Agora weapon, the destroyer of all obstacles, whereby the killing of Tripusandara, Asura, might be effected and the troubles of the devas be removed. Not for a moment my eyelids dropped. Thereby my eyes were affected, and drops of water came out of my eyes. From those drops of water coming out of my eyes, the great tree of the Reduksha did spring for the welfare of all. This Reduksha seed is of 38 varieties. My Surya Netra, my right eye, symbolizes the sun. 12 yellow-colored varieties have come from there. And from my left eye, representing the moon, the Soma Netra, 16 varieties of white colors. And from my third eye, one that on the top, representing fire, the Agni Netra, 10 varieties of black color have come out. Of these, the white Reduksha are for Brahmins, and they are used by the Brahmanas. And the red-colored ones are the Ksatras and should be used by the Ksatras. And the black ones are Sudras and should be used by the Vaisyas and Sudras. One-faced Reduksha is Shiva himself, made manifest and rendered vivid. Even the sin incurred in killing a Brahmin is destroyed thereby. Two-faced or two-headed Reduksha is like the Deva and the Devi. Two sorts of sins are destroyed thereby. The three-faced Reduksha is like fire. The sin incurred in killing a woman is destroyed in moments with this. The four-faced Reduksha seed is like Brahma and removes the sin of killing persons. The five-faced Reduksha is verily an image of Rudra. All sorts of sins are destroyed thereby. The six-faced Reduksha is Kartikeya. It is to be worn on the right hand. One becomes free of all the different sins. There is no manner of doubt in this. The seven-faced Reduksha is named Ananga. Holding this frees one from the sins of stealing gold. The eight-faced Reduksha is Vinyakya. Holding this frees one from the sin of holding and of having bad affairs and contacts with people who are not holy, and other sins as well. It enables one to acquire heaps of food, cotton, and gold, and in the end, the highest place is attained. The fruit of holding the eight-faced Reduksha seed has been said. Now I will talk of the nine-faced Reduksha. It is verily the Bhairava made manifest. one, the left hand, it should be worn on. By this, the people get both bhoga, enjoyments, and moksha, liberation, and they become powerful like me and get themselves freed at once without the least delay of the sins incurred. Holding the 10-face Rudraksha is verily like wearing Janardana, the Deva, the Devas, the holding of which pacifies the evils caused by planets and other evil influences. The 11-face Rudraksha is like the 11 Rudras. The fruits of efficacy of which I now describe here. The fruits obtained through the performance of 1,000 horse sacrifices, 100 Vajrapaya sacrifices, and making gifts of 100,000 cows are obtained thereby. If one wears the 12-headed Rudraksha on one's ear, the Adityas get satisfied. The fruits of performing Ashvamedha sacrifices are obtained thereby. No fear comes from born buffaloes, armed enemies, and wolves and tigers, and other murderous animals. Also, the several diseases of the body never come to him. The holder of the 12-face Rudraksha seed feels always happy, and he is in that manner of in some kingdoms, he becomes freed of the sins incurred in killing elephants, horses, deer, frogs, and other animals. O child, the 13-face Rudraksha is very rare. If anybody gets it, he becomes Kartikeya and gets all desires fulfilled, and the 8 cities are under his grasp. He learns how to make gold, silver, and other metals. He attains all sorts of enjoyments. There is no manner of doubt in this. O son, if one holds on one's head the 14-face Rudraksha always, one becomes like Shiva. O Muni, what more shall I speak to you? The Devas pay their respects to one holding the 14-face Rudrakshas, and he in the end attains the highest goal, the state of Shiva. His body becomes verily the body of Shiva. The Devas always worship the Rudraksha seeds. The highest goal is attained by wearing the Rudraksha. The Brahmanas should hold on their heads at least one Rudraksha with devotion. A rosary of 26 Rudraksha is to be made and tied on the head. Similarly, a rosary of 50 seeds is to be worn and suspended on the breast. 16 each on each of the 2 arms, 24 to be worn on the wrist, 12 on each. O son, if a rosary be made of 108, 50 or 27 Rudraksha, and if japam be done with that, immeasurable merits are obtained. If anybody wears a rosary of 108 seeds, he gets at every moment the fruit of performing the Ashvamedha sacrifices, and uplifts his 21 generations, and finally he remains in the Shiva Loka. Here ends the 4th chapter, and we'll go on to chapter 5. Shiva went on, O Kartikeya, now I will speak how to count the japam with the rosary here. The face of the Rudraksha is Brahma, the upper summit point is Shiva, and the tail end is Vishnu. The Rudraksha has twofold powers. It can give bhoga, enjoyment, as well as moksha, liberation. Then string or tied together like the cow's tail, and like the snake coiling a body, 25 5-face Rudraksha seeds, thorny and of red, white, mixed colors. In stringing the beads into a rosary, it should be seen that the flat face of one Rudraksha is in front of the flat face of another, so that the tail, the pointed end of one, must come in front of the tail of the narrow end of the other. The meru, or the topmost bead of the string, must have its face turned upwards. The rosary thus strung yields success of the mantra. When the rosary is strung, it is to be bathed with clear and scented water, and afterwards with the panchgavya, which is made of cow dung, cow urine, curd, milk, and ghee. Then wash it with clear water and sanctify it with the charges of the mantra. Then recite the mantra of Shiva with added and collect the rosaries. Then repeat over them the mantra and sprinkle over it 108 times water. Then utter the principal mantras and place them on a holy ground, and think that the great cause, Shiva, and the world mother, Bhagavati, have come on them. Thus make the samskara of the rosary, purify it, and you will find that all that you desire will be attained successfully. Worship the rosary with the mantra of the devata for which it is intended. One is to wear the reduction rosary on one's head, neck, or ear, and controlling oneself, one should make japam with the rosary. On the neck, head, breast, or the ears, the rosary should be held with the greatest devotion. What is the use of saying about it so often? It is highly meritorious and commendable to hold always the reduction, especially once on such occasions as taking baths, making gifts, making japam, performing homas, and different pujas. In the name of Shraddha and in the time of initiation, it is highly necessary to hold reduction. It is advisable to use the true reduction with gold and jewel on the head, neck, or hands. Never use the reduction worn by another. Use reduction always with devotion. Never use it while you're impure. Even the grass that grows with the air in contact with the reduction seed grows verily to a holy region forever. Jabala Muni says in the Shrutis, if a man wearing the reduction commits a sin, he gets deliverance from that sin. Even if an animal holds the reduction, they become Shiva. What of men? The devotees of Shiva should always use at least 100 reduction on the head. Those great devotees who want reduction on take the name of the highest of the self, Lord Shiva, get themselves freed of all sorts of sins and pains. Those who are ornamented with the reduction are the best devotees. It is highly incumbent on those who want their welfare to wear the reduction. The Devas and all those rishis, the first chief men in several families, held with reverence the reductions. All the other munis that descended from their families, the ardent followers of Dharma, the pure-souled, held the reduction. It may be that many might not like at first to hold this reduction, the visible giver to liberation, and so well written in the Vedas, but after many births, out of the grace of Mahadeva, many become eager to take the reductions. The munis that are the Jabala Sakkas are famous in expounding the inestimable greatness of the reductions. The effects of holding the reduction is well known in the three worlds. Great merits arise from the mere sight of the reduction. 10 million times that merit arises by its touch, and by wearing it 100 koti times the punyam arises. There is no manner of question in this. He who holds in his hand, breast, neck, ears, head, reduction, becomes an image of Shiva. There is no manner of doubt in this. By holding the reduction, men become invulnerable by all the beings, become respected like Mahadeva by the Devas and Asuras, and they roam on the earth like Rudra. Even if you suspend a reduction, a rosary, on the neck of a dog and that dog dies in that state, he gets liberated. And what to speak of others? By holy reductions, men, even if they be devoid of japam and dhyam, become freed of all sins and attain the highest state. Even if one holds merely a Rudraksha seed, purified and surcharged with mantra Shakti, he uplifts his 21 generations, gets into heaven, and resides there with respect. I am speaking now further the greatness of the reduction. Here ends the 5th chapter, the 11th book, on the reduction rosaries in the Mahapranam Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of 18,000 verses. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshvari Mata ki jai, Bole Baba ki jai.